So this guy, let me share this article. So this story was broken by the team over at Redux, who does great work. And Anna Slats. I have a more in-depth video coming out on it later today because I have a very strong opinion about surrogacy in general.
Yeah.
And it's even stronger when we're talking about two men buying babies. I know it's just like two women shouldn't buy babies either.
I agree.
But it just feels a little creepier when it's two men.
I agree.
So here's two gay men who crowdfunded their surrogacy, which I remember covering. I was like, these gays don't even have enough money to pay for a surrogacy. They should not be having a child.
They crowdfunded a surrogacy? Are they going to crowdfund every time they need to buy diapers? Or my goodness.
I think people would do that, though. I mean, I know a lot of people,
in today's society, hell yeah.
Their first reaction is like, let's set up that GoFundMe or whatever.
Yeah, Tony, welcome as a member on YouTube.
Meanwhile, they're eating real good.
Yeah, they're both
For people who had to
plenty.
crowdfund this, they're eating in excess.
They're eating plenty. So they put out a video kissing their baby every day for like a year or something. And TikTok was like, oh, it's so, love is love. It's so good. It's, oh my God, it's so stunning and brave. And well, this guy, I believe, is he the guy on the right or the left? They're both much fatter in these second photos. I think it's probably him.
Glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. This guy you think he is. Okay.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, they both look kind of similar. One of them was a convicted child predator.
Right.
Who had solicited and received spicy photos from a student.
Oh, my.
And when they contacted the police, because this seemed odd, the police were like, wow, that's odd. Isn't there any kind of, because there are background, like if you're an offender, you cannot adopt.
Right.
If you're a known offender.
Surrogacy isn't regulated like adoption.
Surrogacy is not.
That's
you can literally
crazy.
just buy a baby. And
that's why that one story we saw where it sounds like they were trafficking children to have like 12 3-year-olds or whatever.
The California one.
Yeah. This is wild.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's sad. I mean, sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I was just saying how we got here was this Derek Blyhe or Bly, I don't know. He shared this video on the 27th. It went viral on TikTok and everyone was like, oh, this is so stunning and brave. This guy who's like a right-winger shared the video, and less than 24 hours later, it was discovered, this guy's a sex offender. And people were calling him homophobic. And
later, like anyone else could have found this, and they all were like, no, it's I'm sure this is fine.
Yeah, it's very, very odd. It's very odd to me. I don't know. What do you two think of this? Obviously, here makes me so happy. This baby's going to be raised not to hate people and will be loved. 250,000 likes, gets community noted. One of the men, Brandon Mitchell, is actually a convicted child predator and on the registry. He went after one of his own students while working as a teacher and made spicy videos. And when he got arrested, he had thousands of videos of CP on his computer.
Oh my goodness.
By the way.
Wow.
He got sentenced to 23 months and got let out in 2 months because, of course,
Only 2 months?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, 2 months for, grooming a 15-year-old in his class, and then obviously having, massive amounts of, those types of videos on his computer.
Do we know what his job is right now? Because it's also like
he works in a pharmaceutical lab now.
Oh, surprised he doesn't work as a teacher or something.
Well, he had to give up
as
part of his as part of his parole. He had to give up his teaching license.
Oh my! Why are they always teachers?
Yeah. His husband's a
it
teacher,
feels
by
like
the
that's
way.
like bare
Second grade teacher.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Wow. We need more regulations for stuff like this. And when it comes to people living these kind of lifestyles, like a gay lifestyle, a transgender lifestyle, so on and so forth, those are sexually perverted, degenerate lifestyles. They're satanic, they're demonic. And statistically speaking, people who are participating in any forms of perversion are going to be more likely to participate in other forms of perversion.
Yes.
This is why I always say things like, and people didn't like it when I tweeted this, but I said something to the effect of like, promiscuity. People who are really promiscuous, they're very likely to be on the down low and to be doing gay stuff. And it's all a slippery slope because that's perversion as well. If you are entertaining one form of perversion, you are more likely to go down that slippery slope. And of course, to worst case scenario, what we see here with this guy with children. So we do need more regulations on this. I think that people who are living in these kind of sexually degenerate lifestyles should not be allowed to have children. And I also think that people with heavy porn usage shouldn't be adopting children either. I know people might not like that one, but it all leads down that same slippery slope. As a society, we've got to start stigmatizing porn. We just have to. This is a result of that. The gay stuff, the gay surrogacy, the transgender stuff, all of this is a part of the slippery slope because society started normalizing porn and kink and this and that. It all leads down to the same path, and that's child abuse.
Well, Hannah Claire, I was going to kick it to you here. They revealed that he had exchanged 12,000 text messages with the kid, and had a huge amount of photos and sent him 20 nude photos of himself. What do you make of kind of this? I mean, first of all, well, actually, let me just get your take first, because then I want to talk about the homophobia.
So many
thing.
directions we can go.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said here. I'm just going to get your take.
Well, okay. So there's two primary paths I want to go down in this monologue that I present to you. Welcome to my TED Talk. The first one is, I think this reporting of behaviors of teacher of any sexual orientation or gender, this type of thing is awful. It's one of the reasons that you have to be so careful where you send your kids. It's one of the reasons people don't trust schools these days. It's one of the reasons that, the image of teachers is permanently stained. So if it's this gay man inappropriately approaching a young boy, if it's a female teacher approaching a young boy, if it's a male teacher approaching a girl, whatever it is, it's horrible, and I think we should treat it way more seriously. The fact that he was out in 2 months is insane to me. As far as I know, he was a public school teacher, so it's not like it's like any student in the district could have been exposed to him. It's just
certainly was too. It probably wasn't just the one.
No, it probably wasn't just the one. This is just the one that spoke up or whose parents intervened or something like that. And I think that this is something, especially as a teacher, and I don't want to sound like liberal, but like you're in a position of power, you're in a position of authority, you're receiving government money to do your job. It should be just, I think you should take it even more seriously. And it's not enough to lose your license, especially if you're out in 2 months. The other aspect here is surrogacy. And we might talk about this more extensively, but it has always been one of these things that I find to be a legal gray area that we have to talk about more. And definitely surrogacy has moved to the forefront of a lot of conversations. But, you've all probably known celebrities from, the early 2000s that had babies via surrogate. It was just something that was sort of happening we didn't think about. But although I have, a libertarian streak in my hair and I don't love regulation, this is very, very odd. So if you look at, I've known Christians who want to go through embryo adoption. Embryo adoption is where you adopt a baby that's fertilized, on ice because of IVF. And, they want to give it a chance at life. They want to carry a child, can't have their own whatever. And the regulation around it looks like as if you were like buying or selling property. And that is
Hannah Claire,
what all of this comes down to.
I wanted to point out, there's an agency that is pretty hardline against surrogacy out of the UK called Surrogacy Concern. And they reported that this is like a known thing in the offender community. And this has happened multiple times before. Yeah. Where they know they can't adopt. So they just know that, but they can't, and there's no laws against it.
Right. It's sort of like a horrible modern problem that, because of a combination of science and depravity and cultural bankruptcy, we have arrived at this point, and the legislation hasn't caught up with it. Partially because I think people aren't thinking of this devious way to use surrogacy. Surrogacy has a lot of risks, both for the children, but also the surrogates themselves. I mean, it's not a fantastic industry for anybody.
True.
But it just becomes something that I think kind of like the conversation around abortion, you can't have a logical conversation about it because so many emotions get tied into it.
Right.
Oh, well, this couple's been struggling with infertility for a long time, and don't you want them to be able to have a child, or the birth rate or whatever? And we kind of like turn a blind eye to all of the evils and pains that are around it. I think with this case, the fact that it's just like two people, if you were wanting to adopt or foster a child in this country, it's not a perfect system. I think there's a lot of ways to improve it, but you would still be accountable to someone. You would still have to go through a background check, a home study. That's not the case with how surrogacy is regulated in most states. And it does vary a little bit, but like you could just approach a surrogate and say, hey, we'll cover your medical bills and you give us what comes out. Like that's bananas. That's the most insane, very obvious child trafficking I've ever heard of, even if you're doing it with good intentions. Like this is dangerous and we shouldn't just let it continue.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they've actually banned surrogacy in general. I don't like it. I know it's a sad situation for actual couples who can't conceive. And yeah, that's a sad thing. But at the end of the day, I think when it comes to things like creating a child, that's a natural thing that God is in control of, and I don't like the idea of doctors interfering with that. And it's just, and again, it's too much of a slippery slope. Look where we're at now with these predators and perverts who are buying kids now. I don't like it.